try it all you want, but when you stop at the intersection of classic hip-hop and culinary arts, you find FoodDope, the legendary podcast that personifies the culture through conversations with hip-hop influence, executive chefs, restaurateurs, and food influencers.
Step, throwing up flat like a ref, whipping up bricks like a chef.
Welcome to another special show of FoodDope. This is your host, Nathan T Rideaux, a.k.a. The Professor, a.k.a. the Curator of Culinary Dopeness, and today I got a special guest. I got my homeboy from the NO, from the 504. Yes, we out here in Las Vegas on a special getaway this weekend, man, and I'm glad to have you with me.
Thank you.
Yeah, we started talking a few weeks ago, and I look forward to it.
Absolutely.
And I thank you for coming out with
problem,
FoodDope, man. So how you doing, Chef?
I'm doing blessed on a happy Easter weekend. You know, can't complain. The weather's beautiful.
Can't complain.
Business is going well.
Yeah.
You know, glad to be back at working. You know.
Yeah. It's Las Vegas for you, man. We wish we could open up. We're on the 30th floor right now. I wish I could open this window, but logistically that won't work. So I have Chef Charles Bell in Las Vegas right now. This is Nathan Rideaux with FoodDope Podcast. So, Chef, I noticed you don't have no special highfalutin names. It's just Chef Charles Bell, personal chef.
Yes, absolutely. Being from New Orleans, you know, your name is what gets you anywhere. So,
right.
Being young, I was brought up to always take pride in your name, especially your last name. So, what better way to encompass me than Chef Charles Bell?
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah. A lot of prominent name families from New Orleans too. A lot of prominent name families. You know that those specific names that specifically for that city.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So hopefully this will be one added to it.
Yeah. The page I noticed, in comparison to other chefs, you can look. They have all these pictures, but usually they just scooping pasta and scooping, but they call themselves a chef.
Right.
One thing I noticed about you was the variety of everything and the plates you create,
Absolutely.
man. So I want to ask, where'd you get your flair for authenticity in your culinary style?
So I am formally trained. So my knowledge comes from the Louisiana Culinary Institute in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
But my flair and authenticity comes from me being born and raised in New Orleans.
That's what's up.
What are we known for?
For
flair,
food.
authenticity.
Yeah.
And just taking my family's recipes. I come from a long line of cooks.
Mm-hmm.
I just so happen to be the one to take it to the professional level, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how far I can take it and inspire other chefs who may have not wanted to do this or didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And food called them.
Okay.
It did to me.
Now, one thing I like to ask people, because you just mentioned chefs in your bloodline, I like to ask chefs because I look at culinary arts. It's highly regarded as an art form to me.
Yeah.
So I just like to ask, I was about to ask, where did that flair for authenticity and creativity? You have anybody in your bloodline that artists other than culinary, but any type of music or any type of visual arts?
Well, it's funny you say. So I'm, like I said, we all know how to cook, but I'm the one to take it professionally as my passion.
Right.
My family is a long line of local musicians, dancers, performers, singers. So I think art is something that runs through us, and I just think it encompasses everyone from New Orleans.
And you've been in Las Vegas since?
June of 2019.
What led you to Vegas?
Opportunity, just wanting something new.
Yeah.
I was cooking back home, but it's just I wanted to experience a different environment, and I had a couple friends out here, and they're back from home, and they seem to embrace it. So it looked like it's going well.
Yeah. And you cooked at some prominent places in New Orleans. What are some of those?
So I started out with our family restaurant. It was Dish on Haine in New Orleans East.
Okay.
And then I moved to Bourbon Orleans Hotel, which is in the French Quarters.
Okay.
And then after that, I went to the Hyatt Regency. Mm-hmm. And I did that for a couple years, and once I finished that, that's when I decided I wanted to work for myself.
Yeah.
So I started doing meal preps for a couple local athletes, and then branched that out to when I was doing catering, and it just grew from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You cook for some Saints, Pelicans. Who you cook for?
A few Saints players.
A few Saints players?
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's talk New Orleans for a minute now. What do you miss the most about the
The food.
The food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, you know. I can eat it, but I have to cook it myself.
Yeah,
so it's a lot simpler being back home, running to the corner store and grabbing a $6 plate.
Yeah, and it was refreshing when I first met you, man. We talked over the phone because we both come from the Catholic League.
Yeah.
You come from the Catholic League. I'm a Purple Knight. You're a Crusader.
Yeah.
And, you know, rival schools in the Catholic League. Shout out to Brother Martin, Crusaders, and shout out to all the Purple Knights out there.
Which is my family. I was the lone wolf.
The lone wolf, yeah. How they treat you?
It's all love.
All love.
It's all love.
Yeah.
As long as I got my education.
Right.
You know, and so I definitely embrace both sides.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, considering you had plenty of options to work with in any other field that you wanted to, what other than your family influence led you to culinary?
I guess it was really just me being brought up the way my parents raised us, was to always embrace our passions, no matter which way it led us. As long as, you know, we go right by God and do the right thing, we'll have success. And just based off of that, I wanted to embrace my artistic medium, and food happened to be that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What year were you born?
91.
91.
Yeah.
Man, you don't look like it. You don't look like it, man.
A bit.
Yeah. So you came. Oh man, you came up at it. Oh man, I usually ask that as a frame of reference before I talk music with anybody. So which when you were coming up, what you were listening to? You know.
Cash Money.
Cash Money.
Yeah, no limit.
That should have been a given.
Yeah.
That should have been a given.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little older. And I tell you, I go a lot of places, man, and I might be somewhere, and I still have my classic. I got a Hot Boy Guerrilla Warfare shirt.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing it one day, man, and it was a white dude. I was in a food truck. Gave me my food free because he looked out the window and saw my shirt, and he was like, "Oh man." I remember that album. That album is classic. He said when we was coming up, we used to fight at school over who was a No Limit Soldier, who was a Cash Money. And I think that's funny, man, that the younger, because we had it too. Well, coming up with our generation, we didn't have all the pick sides and this and that. But I think it's funny that culturally,
and it,
that,
it was an innocence back then.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a very big contrast to present day. You know, especially with the way social media, typically kind of glorifies violence rather than the artistic
side of things,
so it was a great time back then, to say the least. But where you were able to pick sides and fight
over
it. Go sit in class,
and you really wanted No Limit Soldier.
Right. You didn't know what they were. You didn't know what the hell was going on.
Alright. Did you ever want your own restaurant?
Having basically ran my family's restaurant for about 5 or 6 years, I had I got pushed towards wanting to do more of the consulting, whereas I do want my own restaurant, but I would rather show you my vision and show you how to run your restaurant. And that way I'll have my influence here, there, and whereas it's not my restaurant, but at the end of the day it still has my influence and my, in the background. So I typically want to do that.
And I think what I'm finding out about culinary arts since I started this podcast, there are a lot of different factors that make up culinary arts. Like my last episode, I spoke with a unique young lady. She specialized in marketing, brand marketing, just for food trucks.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest part, and which leads me to why I want to be more of a consultant, because I know these certain things, and I just feel me putting my all into one thing for myself. It doesn't fulfill my gifts to the capacity I need to branch it out and help others.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
make total sense. You listen to old school hip hop?
I listen more old school R&B.
R&B?
Yeah.
Who you like in R&B, old school?
Sade.
Sade?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Sade.
90s was a good era in R&B. The 90s was a good era in R&B.
Yeah, but I mean, I have an old soul, so
that's what's up.
I branch out to a little bit of everything.
I can tell you got an old soul because me and my wife both. When you just said what year you were born, I'm taken aback by that. I'm appalled. Now let me ask you, because we still see a lot of stuff going on. the general public based on culinary trends. Do you find that could be detrimental to the profession? By having you guys feel like you're having to sort of dumb down your authenticity and your creativity to make people happy, because trends are money makers.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and it kind of brought me to that. Actually, what brought me to become a personal chef.
Okay.
And it's I feel it's the opposite. I feel with social media and the way things are so instantaneous and trends are constantly changing, it allows multiple people to show their gifts. Like some people might not have the formal training, but they might fry a mean steak, a crab or anything, So it's just like, I think that allows the net to be broadened out, and it allows us to have more of opportunity, whereas before it was, you go to culinary school, you're going to work at one of these restaurants, and you really won't be creative because you're doing what they tell you to do. So I think it allows us to be more creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Nathan Rideaux, aka the Professor, on FoodDope, and I'm sitting here today with Chef Charles Bell of Las Vegas, by way of the 504 of New Orleans. And Chef, let me ask you. Let me see where I'm at in this. The dining scene in New Orleans, the classic dining scene that we grew up with, I mean, it's classic. It had lasting memories and lasting impressions. But over recent years, when I go back, there's something different about the air now. You feel like it's maintained its reputation over the years, or is it just running on fumes of past reputation?
I feel that as far as its reputation of being the tourist capital, it maintains it. But as far as those of us who live there and deal with the everyday and who are behind the scenes, who most likely working at these restaurants or these places, we can see from the back that, it may have New Orleans people working there, but these restaurants are ran by corporate companies, so it automatically loses a little bit of its authenticity from it. Not saying that that's a detriment to their company, because obviously they're doing well. But as far as those of us who know what we're looking for, I think it kind of goes as a put off. But I think it also causes us to embrace our community more, where you'll find more authentic food 2 houses down, rather than having to go to the French Quarter to find parking.
And I think that was what's so dope about New Orleans to me. When I moved there, I was 13. I think I found out pretty quickly, like, the best places are the hole in the wall. You could be in the hood, the 7th Ward, on a spot on the corner somewhere. 9th Ward, it could be.
I miss it.
That's one thing I do miss too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now there was a well-known restaurant that we used to go frequent in the 80s a lot, man. But I went back about 4 years ago, and it just wasn't what I remembered. I don't know if it's because I'm older now and my tastes have changed, but it just wasn't the same.
Can I ask?
Yeah, you can ask. Okay. It was was it Jack Dempsey's?
Oh yeah,
it was Jack Dempsey.
We used to go there a lot.
On Poland.
Right.
Yep. I mean, the 80s, man, Jack used to be.
Yeah, even in the late 90s, the early 2000s, it was still it was still there. But man, you took me back. I'm not that old, but you took me back.
It was a place on you familiar? In the 7th Ward, right not far from St. Aug on Law Street, place called was it Eddie's? Had the good po' boys. Oh man, it was world famous. They used to have all the pictures on the wall. Everybody who's been there. I think it was Eddie's. What international cuisine is your favorite?
Oh, Asian.
Asian.
Yeah.
First time I heard that.
Yeah,
what about Asian cuisine do you like?
It's the sweet and the salty and the sour.
Yeah.
So it just. Cooking Asian food, when you learn there's so many steps for it to just come as one uniform flavor. That's what drew me kind of to the West Coast as well. There's a very heavy Asian influence out here. I love Asian food.
What do you think is the best, your favorite Asian dish that you've had?
I would have to say my favorite dish would be it would have to be Japanese hot pot, because of it's the quality that they source with as far as the meat. They only use the finest meat. They use the freshest fish. So it's like, at the end of the day, however this food is prepared, it can't be wrong because they've used the absolute best quality.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my favorite. There's a good spot out here called X-Pot. It's very good. It's in the Venetian.
Japanese hot pot.
Yeah.
I might have to check that
Look
out.
it up.
Look it up. Oh, yeah, because I love, you said the fish and the fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it now, man.
Absolutely.
I don't even have to have a lot on my plate, man. As long as I can have quality.
Right.
And that's hard to find, especially in the times we're going in.
Absolutely.
And me and my wife, we've been frustrated, man, because it's like a lot of people at this time are taking this COVID era that we're in to half-ass.
Yeah.
With everything, with service, with the way they pack your food, with everything. Right. I'm just getting frustrated, man.
Well, the accountability is gone. You order your food, you take it home. By the time, think about it, you go home and check your food. You're not about to drive back.
Right.
If you do, at least of the problems is the food quality.
Favorite Cash Money album?
I would have to say Juvenile, 400 Degrees.
400 Degrees?
Yeah, just because it's like, it's the first thing I think of.
Right.
Being young and being around my older cousins.
Right.
Not knowing what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
Just knew I wanted to be around it. The back of the car beating with the bass. So, it just brings me to a nostalgic point in life.
Yeah. And I remember where I was when I first heard when Juvie came out with Hot. When it first hit commercial radio, I was up at work. I was in Atlanta, and when I first heard it, I said, "Oh shit, New Orleans, they done let them in the door." Even though No Limit was already had, but No Limit
it was different.
It was different.
It was different.
It was different because it was already a recipe there for that No
Right.
Limit followed as far as music.
Yeah. It was,
but with Cash Money, it was the sound, the accent.
It was gritty.
It was Manny Fresh.
Right.
Nobody can that percussion, that rhythm, the way Manny Fresh let a beat ride at the end.
Right.
He let it breathe at the end. It just keep building, man. Keep building. Now, you have a favorite No Limit album? No, really? That was a little bit before.
It was a little bit before my time, and I'll make you laugh. My No Limit memories are the Master P movies and them wrestling and WC. I was a big wrestling fan. So.
Hootie Hoo.
Yeah, right.
Hootie Hoo. Yeah. Shout out to No Limit, man. So that's if I say, man, if I go back to New Orleans and do a show, I want to get Mia X. I want to get Mia X on the show. Yeah, she got a nice little culinary empire. Yeah, and one of the best, in my opinion, female rappers ever. In my top 3. Yeah. Now, let me see. I asked what you go listen to. As a food connoisseur, what city is your favorite?
It would still have to be home.
Home?
Yeah, because that's the problem I face when I travel. It's like, goddamn. I have to either go to the most expensive restaurant, I gotta find a hole in the wall, and I gotta do heavy research. When you're home, you can literally go anywhere, and you'll find good food, and that's something that's taken for granted.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. As an executive chef, what are your personal responsibilities to your brand, as well as your clients?
Well, my brand and my clients, they're basically like my kids. I don't have any kids, but
protect that.
I have to protect them, nurture them. I have to hold their hand at times and deal with what they need, because I offer a service based off of quality, not quantity, and there's a certain level that I thrive for and that I always achieve. Yeah. So I would have to say, my brand is, my clients are my brand. They speak for me. My business is built off of social media, so you see what I offer before we even speak. Right.
And like I said earlier, man, you offer a wide variety.
Yeah.
Wide variety of things. And what is your, I ask everybody this, what do you think if you're going to meet with a potential client and they're going to a tasting, what's your go-to dish that if you serve that up, boom, I got them?
Okay, there's a few of them. I would do my glazed salmon. No, I can't go into too many details. I can't put the secret recipe out there. But I would lean to heavy seafood influences. I would go home. Like, basically, when I meet a client, I want them to meet me through their palate. So I would go with foods that I'm familiar with, foods that I'm comfortable with, that I know that I love, and I know that they will love it because they want me. So what better way to introduce yourself than on a plate?
What's your favorite traditional dish that you grew up in Louisiana eating?
Gumbo.
Eating.
Gumbo.
Gumbo?
Yeah.
You make a mean gumbo?
Yeah, but I make a mean gumbo, but my mom will always make the best.
There it is. I said it on one of my episodes. Favorite gumbo? You a seafood or you a...
Well, that's the thing. You know, with gumbo, it's really about wherever you're at. They throw what they have. So, you know, we weren't brought up with the most money.
Yeah.
So we had what we had, and that's what I love about it. It's home and love. That's what I like in my gumbo.
Yeah. You know what I've been getting frustrated with? Man, I think it's maybe the last 6 months. I don't know why. I've been on some blue crab.
Yeah.
From the Gulf. You know? It's that special blue crab from the Gulf. And I just can't get them. I just can't get them nowhere, man. It's my favorite. It's my favorite crab, and I've been complaining like the last 6 months, man.
You gotta go back home.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing.
Yeah,
I'm playing
with the same thing, and that's the thing with making gumbo out here is I don't have all those at-home ingredients, so we have to improvise.
Yeah,
you know, it's a snow crab instead of blue crab.
Snow crab, right, right.
Yeah.
How you feel about bounce music?
I grew up, you know, being a teenager, chasing girls. That's all they listen to.
Yeah,
so that's all I listen
and
to.
it's a difference. I didn't tell you I did a documentary in 2012. It's called "We Are One: Street Music of New Orleans."
Oh wow!
And I captured early bounce going back to 91, 92.
Yeah.
So I talked to a lot of those. I talked to a lot of the Cheeky Black, Partners in Crime.
Yeah.
I talked to all of them, and Dolomite. And one thing, and I wasn't living there. I had just moved away from New Orleans before bounce music had really had its inception, or it just got kicked off. So I find out hustle. There was a lot of hustlers in bounce music back then. Then after Katrina, I learned the whole tone had started to change. A lot more even though you had your females in it too before, but the whole tone of it had changed. But I think what's so dope about it is just regional. It's regionalized, but the world came to love something that was really born in projects, in the St. Thomas and Hollywood. You know, it was.
But you know, pressure build diamonds. So you always have to go through some type of you know, grit and hardship for them to truly appreciate what you're offering. And it's been a long journey.
Yes,
You know, and I'm just happy to see that, you know, they're getting the recognition that they're able to get.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, it's a song right now they playing on the radio, man. It's a Chris Brown. It's a Chris Brown song, but I hear Trigger Man.
Yeah, I can believe it.
What's that song? I'm like, man, this is bounce music, man.
Right.
It's bounce music. On the world stage too.
Yep.
Now, do you find like bounce music? Do you find it comparable to regional cuisine? Because what I've been doing, man, is comparing the regional hip hop of the South.
Okay.
It became dope. What New Orleans had, what Houston had, what Memphis had. Do you find regional cuisine to be, I don't know a good way to phrase, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I see where you're going, and I think Louisiana as a whole, more so than New Orleans, really encompasses that, because, you know, if you're not from Louisiana, you think it's just one big old, New Orleans, and it's like, no, it's different. Like, you could go 45 minutes, and it's a whole different taste. There's Cajun, there's Creole, you know, then there's Northern Louisiana, where they have the Arkansas, Texas influence, you know, so it's just a different, it encompasses a lot, and you really have to go out there and learn your history, which also plays into food as well. You know,
Lafayette, when it comes to food, man, Lafayette's kicking it, man.
Oh my God, I have friends that are fighting tooth and nail about that.
I tell you,
Lafayette, Opelousas.
I grew up all over I-10 in South Louisiana, and one thing I can say, I think Lafayette had the best. Lafayette had the best food, man. I have to say it. Lafayette had the best food. And I want to give a shout out to Magnolia Levy out there. He asked a question the other day on IG. Does he think that any rapper from New Orleans, should they know how to do bounce? And I think they should.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't think it's more so they should know how to do it. I think they already know how
They
to
already
do it.
know,
I mean,
yeah. Because it's in them.
Yeah, it's in us. You
Yeah.
know, just off of whether it was the second line,
Yeah.
Super Sunday,
Yeah.
you know, block parties,
Right.
Any party,
Yeah.
you know, really. It could be Christmas Eve. They got bounce music playing outside
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
DJ.
so, yeah, I
They
think
call it
that's just
DJ.
New Orleans.
Yeah, it's
you
just
know,
New
it's
Orleans.
just New Orleans.
And I like to tell a story about even before I moved there. I was living in Lafayette, but I used to go to New Orleans on the weekend.
Yeah.
Because before my dad transferred, they had him up in a hotel for a few months. So we would go from Lafayette to New Orleans and visit him on the weekends before we officially moved. And I was about 13. So I would just get out down on porches. I would just walk the street, you know, just
Right.
walk by myself. And one thing I noticed, like immediately, man, you smell the food,
Yeah.
the music,
Oh my
everything.
God, yeah.
And it might not appeal to a lot of people, but I'm the kind of person, artistically,
Yeah.
there's something about I gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
And I think the people when I moved there, the people took me in, I took them in. So that's why
Right.
it's like I consider that my home, man.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, New Orleans is one of the very few places you can walk up on somebody cooking outside the street and
Yeah.
not think twice about buying food from them. You know, it's like,
And that's why I like going on Saints road trips.
Yeah.
Because when we on the road
Oh my
in a
God,
parking lot
yeah.
somewhere, and
Yeah,
you see
you
black
know,
and gold,
right.
get something to eat. So we
Yo, who that?
Yeah. Do you think the move to Vegas has afforded you certain perks or opportunities that you couldn't get in back at home in New Orleans?
Absolutely.
What are those?
And I think it's because out here in Vegas, I'm forced to hold myself accountable. I have a good support system back home, but you know, you can only do so much from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And just me being raised on how I am, I've always thrived on looking for the next challenge. And I love New Orleans to death, but it's just the fact that me needing to grow professionally, I felt that I needed to take myself to the next level and push myself to go further.
Dope. I love that you just said it because I noticed the constant theme on this show. Every chef is talking about going to the next level and elevating. I love it.
It's easy to get lost.
Yeah.
It's easy to let time go by. It's easy. I worked with plenty of chefs and cooks that's been in the same position for 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 20 years, and that scared me, to be honest with you. And I just knew I didn't want to be that. Yeah. So. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Now let us know the scope of Chef Charles Bell and your service, your offerings. What encompasses?
I offer catering from private, intimate dinners for 2, all the way to large parties up to 400 or 500 people. I specialize in personal chef services, which is basically I'm hired on a monthly retainer where I cook 7 days a week for you. I come to your home, do your grocery shopping, maintain a balanced diet for you with a weekly updated menu, never the same meals. So it's basically like 21 to 35 fresh meals every week that is cooked, you know, day of. There's no wait. So that's what I specialize in, just because I know it's hard out here, you know, and there's so many fast food options, and it's killing us. And especially with COVID, you know, health is my number one focus, and the best way that I can bring that out to a broader spectrum is through culinary arts.
That's what's up. I want to give a shout out to everybody out there, all the chefs that have come on season 1 of FoodDope, all the different stories you told, everyone's told and everything. And before we close, is anything you want to close out with as far as what's going on with COVID, what's going on with your business, how can people reach you on social media?
Okay, well, I could be reached at Chef Charles Bell on Instagram. Website is coming soon. As far as a message, I just want to tell everybody to keep safe, stay safe, take your health make it your number one focus, because you're all you got. You're the only one that can live your life 24 hours a day. And call your family. Family is very big and important, but at the same time, follow your passions, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
Always.
I like that,
Always.
Overall, how's the experience been out here in Vegas?
I love it.
I
consider it home now.
Good weather.
Everything.
Good
I mean,
weather.
it get cold.
Don't
cold. Get me wrong.
But
it gets cold, but I mean, I love it.
It's 90 degrees today.
Yeah, right.
90 degrees.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say earlier, before the 400 Degrees, Juvie's album before Cash Money went to Universal when it was still independent, Soldier Rag.
Yeah.
It's my favorite, man. I like that older
before
they went to the majors, even BG's,
right.
BG stuff, then Juvie, the Soldier Rag, Big Timers, all that stuff. I'm with the older. With the older stuff.
I was a Q93 baby.
So. Q93?
Yeah, that's what I grew up
When I lived there, Q93 was pop music. It was pop when I lived in New Orleans. And it shocked me years later when No Limit was popping that I heard, I think it was P Shot out Q93, because when I lived there, Q93 was pop. And I think it was WYLD was the black music station.
Yeah, that was the old school station.
Yeah, man. It's funny how things had got reversed and changed everything.
I definitely grew up, Yeah.
This is Chef Charles Bell of Las Vegas by way of New Orleans, and this is Nathan T Rideaux, aka The Professor, on FoodDope Podcast. And if I forgot anything, I'm sorry. I'll get y'all on the next episode. And remember, you'll never understand the weight this culture carries until you live the life. And I lived the life. FoodDope. Peace. International FoodDope, brought to you by Urban Science Media, hosted by Nathan T Rideaux, aka The Professor. Find us on all major podcast platforms. Follow us on IG at FoodDope Podcast and at The Professor 73. You'll never underestimate the weight this culture carries unless you live the life. And I live the life. We got history.